You guys know what time it is. Get strapped in and ready for some good times. This is the Blowed Out Podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is your Fatty With A Natty coming at you for episode 97. I would like, sadly, to start the show with a heartfelt sadness. Rest in peace, Mr. Frank Beard, the drummer for ZZ Top. That officially sews up the fact that I will never get to see at least the majority of ZZ Top. Man, that's a real bummer. I don't know if I've ever told you guys. Maddie and I had bought and paid for tickets to see them at the House of Blues in Las Vegas, complete with room tickets, or room reservations for, hell, now I can't even remember where we had rooms at. But anyhow, bought and paid for. We're like a month out of finally getting to see ZZ Top, and COVID hit. God damn it. And of course, screwed us out of seeing ZZ Top. And then, obviously, a couple years later, Dusty went and died. So that kind of ruined that. Or at least our hopes of ever being able to see them. So, unfortunately, time has yet again taken away one of my favorite all-time bands, much like it did B.B. King and a bunch of folks that, sadly, I will never get to see in person. Anyhow, Godspeed, sir. Rest in peace. Things will not be the same without you. You know, it sounds dumb, but everybody, of course, loves music. Who doesn't, right? So, it sounds dumb to give this kind of advice, but if there's someone you really, really want to see that's like bucket list for you to see live, do it. Just do it. I know with the economy and everything else that is not necessarily feasible, but figure it out while you still can. Don't have a laundry list of folks that you had a chance to see. It will never be able to, because time gets all of us, right? Lynyrd Skynyrd, it's another one that I have been screwed out of. Technically, I did it to myself. They are playing next month in Salt Lake, and I need to take my own advice and spend the money for yet another set of tickets to go see them. I've had tickets in the past, and because I'm a nice guy, I relented and gave someone else my ticket. So, I screwed myself on that one. But I had tickets many years ago to see them that were dirt cheap and would have been a fantastic show, I'm certain. Now, they are not cheap at all, especially for the venue. But I feel like that needs to happen. That is a band I've grown up with my entire life. Obviously iconic. Who doesn't like Skynyrd? Unfortunately, because of my age, I have to see them in, Lord, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. In the capacity that they are now. Obviously, most of the original members have been gone for a long time, but they are at least kin. They still put on a hell of a show from what I hear. So, like I said, if you can figure it out and make the arrangements to see that bucket list band, just go do it. Life is too short. There's too much uncertainty in the world. Just let it rip. You know, if there's no guarantee for tomorrow, guys. I think you all know that. Possibly some of you more than I do. But anyhow, I will say that if anyone was feeling really, really generous and possibly wanted to hang out with the old fatty, you know, and have a good time for a couple of days, if someone wanted to get me a ticket to Crossroads, woo, I'm not going to say that there may or may not be some things I would do for said ticket, airfare, and accommodations to Austin for Crossroads. Again, Eric Clapton, a lot of those guys, huge bucket list for me. Although I don't do it much anymore, some of you may know that I have played guitar off and on, oh Lord, for 35 plus years. So that is definitely bucket list, but I cannot afford $1,000 a day just for tickets and not good seats to go to Austin. Anyhow, I got off sideways there. But how's everybody doing? How's things in your neck of the woods? Hopefully holding up well. Hopefully not too hot, not too cold, all of those things. We are back up to hot here in northern Utah. 90s, low 90s, a little bit here and there, a little bit of moisture finally. Actually, Lord, I think it was last Thursday. It rained like hell here. Like cow pissing on a flat rock. There are videos of I-15 down in Fatty Without A Natty's neck of the woods where cars are pushing water on I-15 up above their bumpers. So yeah, needless to say, we did get some moisture, which is a good thing. We need it terribly. But of course, now we're back right up to hovering in the mid-90s, which I guess, technically is better than 105, but anything after 90, does it really matter? Does it really feel any hotter between 95 and 105? I dare say yes, but it certainly doesn't seem like it. It still feels like, Satan has opened the oven when you roll down the windows or when you just walk outside. But I've never experienced 120 down in Arizona, so I'm certain there's a difference. It just doesn't feel that much different when you're a portly feller. I was gonna say Vegas is. I've been to Havasu many times, but it was always early in the spring or late in the fall. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was early or late, but it was spring and fall. So it wasn't really gnarly. It was still god-awful. But Vegas, I've been to Vegas pretty much, I don't know, damn near every month of the year, I feel like. And the only time that Vegas gets sketchy is when you're at Bike Fest and it starts to rain so hard that you can't see the road. Well, Vegas, for those of you who don't know, typically runs so hot all the time that the oils just ooze out of the pavement, the asphalt. So when you're on a bike in Vegas and it rains, even a sprinkle, it is like ice. It is like the salt flats. It's everything you can imagine a nightmare on two wheels is. So you just kind of putt down the strip crying to yourself, which the bonus is it's raining so hard that no one knows you're crying, but you just put your feet down to attempt to keep yourself upright as you putt. You just put it in like third gear and just baguette with your feet down like outriggers, and they just slide. Because if you give it any kind of throttle, yip, she's going right out from under you. And so you make your way back to whatever nifty casino you're staying at and flip the valet guy, $10 to let you park your bike right there behind his little valet desk. And you go inside, at least in the old days, and drink $2 Coronas until the tears go away, or all the rain dries up, and then everyone can tell that you have been crying. Good times, no regrets, but definitely a learning curve about riding in places when it's that hot and rains. Also, if I'm not mistaken, that was the same trip that we decided to ditch into the pawn shop from TV to get out of the rain. Pro tip, it is awful. It's a total dump. And it's about the same size as the room I am recording in right now. No one's there from TV, of course. There is an armed security guard. And there is about one or two of the things. I don't know what kind of lens they're using for the TV show, but they always make it look like it's this big shop, and there's always people in the background, milling around and looking at items and stuff. Yeah, that is absolutely not the case. It's about an 8x8 box, and there is like a bank teller drawer on the door, because presumably a lot of people show up in the middle of the night to pawn their Rolex to try and get home. Anyhow, oversized gift store. If I'm being honest, not a great experience. Total letdown. If you happen to enjoy the show. Possibly why it's no longer a thing, I don't know. Maybe it is. But if it is, I don't watch it anymore. And I assure you, the $2 Coronas at the Sahara are a way better entertainment value than the gold and silver pawn shop. Don't come after me, Rick. Just calling it how I sees it. Well, let's see. Should we get down to business? A bunch of states had their, primaries today. I don't know if primaries is the right thing. You guys know I only go through this, like, for the rage bait and, to talk smack. I really don't keep up on this junk. But, as we've talked about before, the reason I bring this up is because I saw something about the DSA. Excuse me. I am awfully burpy tonight, so I apologize. But the DSA representative Angie Nixon from Florida apparently, got the nomination or whatever. Technically, whatever that means. But the point to that is false news. I saw a video of her parading through the Senate with a bullhorn like a godforsaken kid at Walmart just acting a fool. And I thought, of course, the headline reads it's because she just won, the nomination, the Democratic nomination in Florida. So, of course, I lose my mind because what person in the Senate acts a damn fool like that? I don't care what party you are. I don't care what party, what color, what sex, what anything. I don't give a damn who acts like a total imbecile like that in the Senate. Why is this being allowed? They have microphones in front of their chair. This crazy person is parading up and down the aisle, screaming at the top of her lungs as though anyone can understand her. But it was not from today. This apparently was this video that I saw with her parading up and down like a lunatic was apparently from several months ago when they tried to redistrict or something with DeSantis. I don't know. Like I said, still acting like a lunatic, still blows my mind that so many people are on board with the socialist party movement thing. But the gist of that whole little segment is the fact that you cannot believe what you read on the internet. I've said it a million times. I know you guys are smart enough to know better, but just saying, it even got me the way they write the headlines, and then taper it to fit the narrative. It got me. So, again, don't believe any of the horse shit you see on the internet or hear on the damn mainstream media news. It's all garbage. In all fairness, most of them are garbage to go along with the garbage headlines. So, you know how we roll around these parts. We pay just enough attention to have stuff to make fun of. Do not take sides. Do not care. Honestly, I don't care what party you're from. Well, you guys know. I don't need to reiterate. But I hope you will do the same. Don't believe what you read on the internet. Do your homework. Choose the best person for the job, regardless of party lines. At the end of the day, not a damn one of them cares about us. You know that. So, speaking of garbage in the media, why is Rosie O'Donnell coming back from Ireland and going on the Jimmy Kimmel show and apparently back on The View, which God knows that trash needed another trash bin spewing God knows what. Does anyone actually think she's funny? I'm curious because I don't. I never have. I don't care what her political affiliation is. I don't care what her message is. I don't care if she's on there spouting about Trump or, hanging out with Whoopi and whatever. She honestly drives me nuts. It doesn't matter what she's saying. If she's saying anything, it makes me insane. I don't like her. I've never liked her. I think she's annoying. She's absolutely just pawing for attention. Pining, however you want to say it. There's 100 different ways you could say it. Like I said, honestly, she makes my skin crawl regardless of what she's saying. So I'm curious why so many people like her bandwagoning, yeah, Rosie's back. Whatever. She's only back probably because they denied her citizenship. I don't know, but she isn't relevant anymore. And I don't know. Like I said, honestly, she just drives me insane. I don't know about you guys, but that's just my take on it and why anyone would listen to her or follow her, across busted glass for her take on things is beyond me. But like always, that's just my fat opinion. Honestly, I think these are the types of things that lead to these street takeovers and, oh, God mercy. Why? Why is this a thing? There is a distinct difference between taking to the streets to voice your feelings or your opinion about a certain topic or subject, right? I think we can all agree on that. Let's say ICE, okay? If you are absolutely against ICE, everything they stand for, the way they are doing their jobs, all of it, right? Then you decide to take to the streets. Okay, so on Saturday, let's say this Saturday, let's get together down by City Hall in some city that they are in, or, whatever. They're here. They're in Ogden. Of course, they've always been in Ogden, just for the record. Apparently, a lot of folks don't understand that, but let's just say that they're here. So we're going to gather, and voice our feelings and our opinions that we don't like them, right? So we all make our cardboard signs and we put the word out to the herd, and we do all these things. We get a mass gathering permit. We do all the things that we're supposed to do to have said rally for said cause, correct? When and where did that become, let's just show up and cause a bunch of mayhem and take cordless grinders and cut the gates and locks off of small family-owned businesses and bust in, and 50 of us go in and just grab whatever the hell we want. And then let's bust up cars, and let's spray paint buildings, and let's tear down flock cameras, and let's just cause absolute mayhem and fuck everything up along the way. And I'm sorry for the language, but it had to be said that way to get my point across. When did that somehow become what people think is going to garner attention in a positive light? Because for me, those things could be handled with one 40-round clip out of an AK-47. Now, I realize that sounds awful and harsh, but at the same time, if that's my store that you're cutting the locks of and kicking out all the windows and throwing bricks through, and then once you gain entry into my store, 30 or 50 of you in your pulled tight hoodies and your bullshit masks mob into my store and take everything you can possibly grab, costing me tens of thousands of dollars in product and tens of thousands of dollars more in damages and everything else, then I believe it is also my right to defend my store. Correct? I think everyone would agree in that. But now you've got folks who think that that's somehow going to garner positive attention to their cause. Or you have people who just feel like they are entitled. And I know we've talked about this before, but this is very recently, in the last couple of days, come up again in the media, because they are interviewing folks now and talking to, doing all these things. People think that it's okay to do that. I heard a bunch of interviews earlier today. Well, snippets of interviews. And so granted, possibly I fell into a trap. Possibly they were doctored or, tapered to fit a narrative. But I'm pretty sure you can get on any, one of many, many sources and hear folks being interviewed that say, well, if you're hungry, And as long as it's not a mom and pop shop, if it's Walmart or Target or a big corporation, then it's okay to just take what you need or take what you think you need. What planet are we living on right now? Oh my God. Like, that is really coming out of people's mouths. Well, if your kid, needs some shoes and a backpack to go back to school, as long as it's a big corporation, then it's okay to go and take it because you need it. And what? I don't even know where to go on this, guys. This is somehow really the planet we're living on right now. The entitlement and the total disregard for law and rule has come to the point where people think that they are just, again, and I hate to keep saying the same words over and over, but people think that they're entitled or it's okay for them to just go and take whatever they need because they need it. It's theft. It's stealing. It's not theirs. So people think that it's just okay. Well, because I need it. Well, shit, son, I need, $1 million. Does that mean it's okay for me to just go take it? My kids need stuff. So apparently I can just go take it? Good Lord. Like I said, I don't even know what to make of this. Anyhow, I'm going to pause for a minute and see if I can get my blood pressure to go down. And we'll be back. Hey guys, Ryan here, a.k.a. the Fatty With A Natty. Are you a business owner or marketing director looking to explore how advertising on the Blowed Out podcast can help your business or organization grow? As we push further into our fourth season, we have gained a listening audience in over 270 cities spread across 58 countries worldwide. All this while continuing to grow every week. In 2026, podcasts will statistically outpace social media, display, and terrestrial radio ads by over 4 times on average. If you would like to discuss pricing, frequency, and ROI options, email us at blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com with marketing in the subject line. That's blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com, subject marketing. All right, kids, we're back. I was thinking over the break, I've been in a lot of situations in my life, and by no means am I bitching or say that I had it bad or, anything. I know that there are a lot of folks that have it way worse. I'm sure I've told you before, I try and find some silver lining in everything. There's a silver lining in everything, if you look hard enough. But I have never been to a point where I felt like someone else's stuff, should be mine. I mean, I'm jealous. Sure, I would love to have a $100 million yacht with a slip in Monaco, but I have never been in a position where I felt like, well, I'm hungry, so I'm just going to go take it. There are a lot of options. Unfortunately, I understand that the constant rise in population is a determining factor in that. But let's just say here in Ogden, northern Utah, there are handfuls of places, food pantries, share boxes, things of those nature, or that nature, sorry, that if you are in a position, you can absolutely utilize. Especially here in northern Utah, there are a lot of options through the church, and a lot of people don't like doing that or have done it so much that they have been eventually told no. But it's just like SNAP and EBT and, welfare, all of the programs that are available were not meant to be forever. They were designed for short term, get back on your feet, it will help you. But unfortunately, folks are utilizing that, or it seems to be anymore, that folks are utilizing that way beyond, getting back on their feet. I have seen people say that is their, that's their income. That's their entire means of subsistence. And that's okay, fine. But again, until you get on your feet. So it seems that there is just a giant disconnect between trying and just riding it, and maybe I'm wrong. Again, I've never been in that position, at least as an adult. I've been on some hard times. I've been through plenty of ringers as an adult. When I was a kid, I honestly couldn't tell you, single digits. I know times were tough. We ate the standard poor meal, but I feel like as a Gen Xer, and, we bring this up often, I feel like that was kind of normal for a lot of us. I remember like the green stamps and government cheese and all that stuff. But, like I said, I don't know back then, 45 years ago, what the situation was. But I can tell you that it didn't last. I remember those things as a kid, but I also remember progressing from those things, mom getting a new job or whatever. And, for those of you who know me, know that, there were at least a handful of years where I was in a single parent household, at least. And, I love my father dearly, and he was around. And again, I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a lot of skewed memories along the line there. So I couldn't tell you for how many years. It wasn't many, I can tell you that. Or to what degree. All I know is what I can remember, and even then, it wasn't bad. It wasn't load up the kids and go to Gibson's or Skaggs. Bet you haven't heard those names in a while. Well, maybe somewhere in the world you have, but not around here. To go steal however many groceries, we could pack in our diapers. Like I said, I honestly don't recall. And by no means am I bitching saying that I had it rough, because I didn't. It wasn't white picket fence, but honestly, whose is? And it also made me the person that I am. So, I don't know that I wish that it would have been, to be honest. And again, no regrets, not pissing and moaning, but even though times are tough, there are so many avenues available, or options, resources, probably more now than ever. Unfortunately, again, with, a ton more people also wanting and trying to utilize those resources, they're spread thin. However, they're still available, even if all you get is a loaf of bread and some cheese and a gallon of milk, or half gallon of anything is better than nothing. And I feel like I can honestly say that we have some pretty amazing resources around here. Granted, we're not, the south side of Baltimore or LA or some of the really, unfortunately bad off areas. But I don't understand why the logic then becomes, well, then I'll just take it. If someone won't give it to me, then I'll just take it for myself. There's always something. And I'm certain you guys have all noticed on Facebook and, well, mostly Facebook. MySpace apparently is making a comeback. Not that matters, but, there's 30 people a day in some of these groups on Facebook, local groups that, are begging for food or money or furniture or formula or diapers and things. And it seems like there's always someone, willing to at least pony up that. I mean, Christ, if you're starving and you can prove to me that this isn't a trend, like you haven't been begging for 3 meals a day for 3 years, I'll buy you a damn pizza. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I'm sure I've gone off on this tangent before, but it seems to be a recurring theme, very much so. And also something that I've encountered a lot over the last couple of days. So that's fresh in my mind and why I'm kind of hammering down on it. But I implore you, if you are in need, reach out to the resources. Not just take it because you think you're somehow entitled to it. Around here, there's 2 places I can name, and if you need the names, if you're local or in northern Utah or and you need some resources, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to give them to you. The ones that I know that give out tons and tons of stuff. There's one place here on the north end of town that every week they do like a community day, and for a $5 donation, which is not necessary, they ask for it, but they don't tell you no if you don't have it. And they will literally give you a cart of stuff. Meat, veggies, cereal, milk, eggs, cheese, you name it. I mean, it's wild. I know a lot of people who do it just to help them kick along. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're on a fixed income or, something of that nature. But to just go out and take it is obscene. And anyhow, I'll stop beating that dead horse. But like I said, I'm absolutely willing to divulge any knowledge that I may have. If you are in need of help, reach out. like I said, Christ, if you've been working like a fiend and you're just trying to make it to payday because you just got a new job or something dumb, I'll buy you a damn hot and ready Little Caesars, unless I'm in the same boat. I've told you guys before, I'm as paycheck to paycheck as anybody. So, anywho, I did want to mention on that kind of same note, and I assume that there are similar entities in other places, but here in northern Utah, I just came across a thing called the I Love You Bro Project. And I reached out to them, and they seem super cool. The main guy, Joe, hit me back and said that he would absolutely love to sit down and maybe bring him on the show and talk about it. But, so I'm taking that as it's okay for me to use this on the show. But this I Love You Bro Project is a Utah 501c3 for men's mental health, suicide prevention, and ongoing personal growth or development, through connective, evidence-based programming. Honestly, it seems super cool. Like they have, a handful of different places that they meet up once or twice a week, and they just hang out. And I thought that was super cool. It's something that we've advocated here on the show a bunch. You've heard Matt and Miss Lady and I talk about it a bunch. If you need help or if you need to talk, please feel free to reach out. But like I said, this project seems super cool, and I'd really like to advocate for them. And of course, not only for men, but there are plenty of resources available for women also. But I think these are the types of things we need more of, and part of that kind of same logic of plenty of resources out there available if you need some help. So that's something cool to look into if you're in northern Utah. At least, like I said, I'm sure that there's a bunch of similar entities throughout the country and of course, ideally across the globe. If not, if there's not something where you're at or where you happen to be, wherever you happen to be on the globe. Sorry, I always have to remind myself that we're not limited to the United States anymore. But you're interested in starting one, I would love to help. I don't know how I could, obviously, other than just spreading the word, but please reach out. I mean, this is awesome, especially in these trying times. It doesn't seem to be getting any better as far as, a whole lot of positivity in the media lately. So I would absolutely love to help get the word out. If I can help advocate your entity, your project, or your group, or this is a good thing, and I should probably get a lot more involved myself. But I would at least like to gladly do my part if I'm able. So give them a shout if you're looking for a group to become a part of. They seem super cool and doing a lot of good things. Reach out if we can help in any way, anywhere, any of you across the globe. I stand by that. We're all in this together, and somehow we all have to coexist on this rock. So I'm 100% for it, guys. Anyhow, I think I've probably rattled on enough for this week. As usual, shout out to our partners, Evolution Design Works and Fine Finishes. If you guys are looking for some custom work in or around Utah, hit them up. They're always happy to help where they can, or at least give you, an idea or some guidance in the right direction. Because like I said, we all gotta, at the end of the day, we all are in this together. So, you know the drill, guys. Keep your heads on a swivel. Try and look out for one another. Be safe. Crazies ain't getting any less crazy, and the world isn't, unfortunately, getting to be any more of a hospitable place, at least for the moment. But here's hope for tomorrow. Life is short, all that good jazz. In the meantime, tell a friend, tell a family member, spread the word. Available on all platforms. Reach out if you have questions, comments, whatever. blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. Hey, love you guys. Cheers.